Greetings, math fans. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to create more equations. Okay, now it's really similar to this. Let me actually just give you a little sample of kind of what we're going to do. So remember, if you're given a point and a slope, you have to come up with an equation. Okay, so let me give you an example. If I told you the slope was 3 and the point was 2 comma negative 4. Remember what the first thing you do, well, first of all, it's y equals mx plus b, right? And you gotta find your value of b. Okay, so you have your m, you have your x, and you have your y. So you just plug everything in, you find b. So it's y equals m, which is 3 times x plus b. So we solve for b. So negative 4 equals 3 times 2 is 6 plus b, and then we subtract 6 from both sides. So b is equal to negative 10. And now we're really done. The only thing we need to do is now we have our slope, we have our b, we just plug those into m and b here, and we come up with our equation. So our answer to this problem is y is equal to 3x minus 10. Okay, and that's the answer. So we did that a couple days ago, so that should be pretty familiar. So here's the deal. I am not just going to hand you directly this slope. Okay, so that's the only difference. I'm not going to hand you this. I'll give you this, I'll give you the point, but I won't give you the slope. What I'll do is I'll give you an equation and I'll tell you, hey, it's parallel to this line or it's perpendicular to this line. Okay, and so remember, if it's perpendicular, well, let's talk about parallel first. Remember, parallel means the same slope. And if it's perpendicular, that means it's opposite reciprocal slope. Okay? So opposite meaning you change the sign. We talked about this already. Change the sign. Reciprocal means you flip the fraction. Okay? So let me just start out with a nice little friendly problem here. All right? So if I told you it is parallel to y equals 3x minus 8, and it passes through 2 comma negative 1. All right, I want you to find the equation. Well, this is like really easy. Really easy if you know what parallel means and you know how to find b. And I mean, you got a couple things. Well, I shouldn't say it's really easy, but we should know how to do this because we've done it already. First of all, if it's parallel to this, do you guys agree it's the same slope? So that's the only thing I'm picking off of this. This minus 8, I don't even use it. I'm literally pulling off the slope. So the slope is my m value. So m is 3, and I have a point of 2, negative 1. So now it's just like what I did before. You're given a slope and given a point. You got to find b. So let's do that. So y, remember, it's always y equals mx plus b. So we plug it in. Y, which is negative 1, equals m, which is 3, times x, which is 2, plus b. So it's negative 1 equals 6 plus b. Subtract 6 from both sides. So b equals negative 7. Okay? And so what do you do with that? Well, now we have our b. We have our b, and we have our slope, and so we come up with our equation. Y equals 3x minus 7. Okay? Pretty simple, right? Not bad at all. All right, so let's try another one here. The next one's going to be perpendicular to the equation y equals negative 1/2 x minus 7. Okay? And it goes to the point 4 comma 2. So once again, that minus 7 here, guys, I don't even care about it. It's not important. The only thing that's important is the slope. Now I'm telling you it's perpendicular. So remember, it's opposite reciprocal. So you see the negative there? I know it's going to be positive. So I'm just going to write my slope is going to be positive, and you flip it. So 1/2, the reciprocal of that is 2 over 1 or just 2. So my slope is just 2. Okay? And now we just plug everything into our equation, y equals mx plus b. So y equals m times x plus b. So 2 is equal to 8 plus b. Subtract 8 from both sides. So b is equal to -6. Okay? Now please, I've seen this happen where people just put down b equals -6. That's not an equation. Okay? You got to put down the equation. So you got to write it as our final answer is going to be y is equal to m, which is our new m. Okay? I remember watching some people just recently, you put down that -1/2. It isn't, I mean, you used -1/2 to find this, and this is what you're going to use now. So y is equal to 2x and then -6, and that's your answer. Okay? So that is a line perpendicular to that equation and also going through that point. All right, let's keep going here. So I got a couple more examples here. Now, we're making it a little bit more difficult. So parallel to 2x plus 6y equals 24. Now here's the deal, math fans. You got to solve for y, right? You got to know what the slope is. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So you get 6y is equal to -2x plus 24. And I'm going to divide by 6. So y is equal to, if you reduce that, it's -1/3. Please no decimals. Never, ever, ever give me a decimal. It doesn't do any good because when you're trying to find the slope, you can't even, how do you plot 0.25? Okay, you gotta plot 1 over 4. Okay, so it's -1/3 x plus 4. Now here's the deal. Remember I told you that plus 4 doesn't matter. I am just concerned with this slope right here. And it's parallel to it. So what does that mean? Same slope. So my slope is -1/3. And the coordinate, oh, I have to give you the coordinate too. I didn't do that. So let me give you the coordinate. It's got to go through -3, 1. You're probably like, what? What am I doing here? Okay. All right, so let's plug it in. Y, 1 equals -1/3 times x plus b. Okay? So you get 1 equals, if I multiply this out, and negative times a negative is a positive, and 1/3 of 3 is 1, so it's 1. So that's what you get. So we subtract 1 from both sides, so b is equal to 0. So that's okay, just not going to write 0. So my answer to this problem is y equals -1/3 x. That's it. You don't say plus 0. Okay? Right, so this one here, again, I gave you this equation, and you got to solve for y. Because you have to solve for y, because you got to get in the form of y equals mx plus b. Right, because I need my slope. So you can't get the slope out of this the way it is. You got to solve for y first. Okay? All right, so let's do another example here. I'm going to say it's perpendicular to 4y minus 2x equals 12. And this one goes through the point 6, -3. Okay, solve for y. So I'm going to add 2x. So you get 4y is equal to 2x plus 12. Divide by 4. So y is equal to 1/2. 2 over 4 is 1/2. 1/2 x plus 3. All right, and so it's perpendicular to it. So what does that mean? Opposite reciprocal. So here's my slope. Okay, I don't care about this. What's the opposite reciprocal? Well, you know opposite means negative, right? Or in this case it's positive, so it's the opposite, so it makes it negative. So my slope is -1/2. But it's perpendicular to it. So what is really my slope? The reciprocal is, oh sorry, it's +1/2. this one's positive 1/2. So the reciprocal is 2 over 1, and then it's negative. So this is my new slope. It was a little complicated here. My new slope is negative 2 over 1, or negative 2 really. Okay? So now our problem is you got this negative 2 and you got this point, so plug it in to find out the value of b. So we do that. So it's y equals m times x plus b. So negative 3 is equal to negative 12 plus b. Add 12. B is equal to 9. Okay, so your equation, final answer is, drum roll please, it's y equals, again, here's your new slope, negative 2x plus 9. Okay? Please don't use the old slope that you had right here. Okay, that's how you get this negative 2, but you don't use that anymore. Okay? All right, so those are pretty much, those are the two things, parallel and perpendicular. Let me talk about some special cases now, and these are actually kind of easy problems. Okay, if I give you guys a problem and I said parallel to x equals 5, and it goes to the point 2, 3. Now you guys need to remember, x equals 5 is a vertical line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what x equals 5 looks like. So if I'm telling you if it's parallel, don't you guys agree it's another vertical line? So if it's another vertical line, it has to be another x equals. It has to be. It's got to be another x equals. Okay, x equals. And what does x equal? Oh, look at that. It x equals 2. So there we go. X equals 2 is my answer. Okay? So if I said parallel to y equals 3 and it goes to the point 8, negative 17. Well, parallel to y equals 3, you should remember y equals 3 is a nice little horizontal line. If it's parallel, it's going to be another horizontal line, which means it's got to be another y equals. So y equals what? Well, what does y equal? Look at the point. It's negative 17. Remember what we call these? Call these BAM problems. Because they are really easy. You don't have to do a lot of work. You don't have to find the value of b. You just go, oh, it's parallel, so it's another y equals. Okay, oh, it's an x equals problem. Oh, it's parallel. Oh, it's another x equals. Okay? So they're really, really easy. So let's talk about perpendicular. Oops, it's a little thick there. Okay, perpendicular. So remember, perpendicular just means if that's a line, this line is perpendicular to it. So remember, this is an x equals, this is a y equals. So if I said it's perpendicular to x equals 3 and it goes to the point 5, negative 2. Well, if it's perpendicular to x equals, doesn't it have to be y equals? Okay? Think logically. X equals is a vertical line, y equals is a horizontal line, and they're perpendicular. So if it's perpendicular to x equals 3, it's got to be a y equals. And what does y equal? Negative 2. It's right there. Y equals negative 2. Okay? So what if I said perpendicular and to y equals 7, and it goes to the point 8, 2. Well, remember, y equals is this way. If it's perpendicular, it's got to be this way, which is an x equals. And what does x equal? 8. Okay? So that's it. That's kind of the scoop, math fans. These are BAM problems because these are super fast, but that's only if it's an x equals or y equals. Okay, if it's a y equals 2x plus 3, then you got to do some work, but otherwise, this is like fast stuff here. With equations. So again, the only difference between this and what we did a couple days ago is now I'm just giving you an equation and I'm telling you it's either parallel or perpendicular. And then you got to pull the slope off of that equation. Remember, if it's the same slope, if it's parallel, same slope. And if it's perpendicular, opposite and reciprocal. Means opposite meaning change the sign, reciprocal meaning flip it. Okay, you got to do both. All right, that's it, math fans. Have an outstanding day. Adios. Goodbye.